Hello and welcome back to Crafting Corner. This is Kat. In today's video, I am doing the first 5 rounds of the Varsity Yellow color for the second rainbow blanket that I am creating. The yarn for this video is Big Twist Varsity Yellow. I got it from Joann's. I actually think I've got more than enough for this color, so we will see how this goes. I did not complete a skein for this specific video. However, I believe in the next one I will be completing the one that I started, and then maybe starting on a second one, maybe even a third one. I'm not sure yet. I haven't gotten that far. In the orange round video, I was talking about unspoken expectations, and this past weekend was Father's Day. And it came to a conversation about other unspoken expectations, this time between a child and an adult. Most adults have gone through life and at some point have figured out how to do some emotional regulation. They've figured out how to be more logical versus less emotional, so on and so forth. However, a child does not always have that same capability. I'm realizing that with my daughter wholeheartedly. Last week we went through a suspension because she didn't want to hear the word no from her friend when it came to a toy that she wanted to play with. A lot of that came down to the fact that she had been up late the night before. She hadn't gotten a lot of sleep. I get her up on days I have to go into the office at 5:45 because we have to be out the door no later than 6:15. And she's a toddler. It takes a second to get dressed, even though she is perfectly capable of picking out her outfit and putting on clothes and things like that. It still takes time. It does no good for me to get frustrated with her in that moment and maybe viscerally is not the right word, but to physically react to the fact that I think she should be able to go faster. The expectation in that situation is that she put her clothes on. She be able to do it by herself and be self-sufficient. However, that does not mean that my physical reaction and my emotional response is not one of a lack of patience and a lack of empathy for the fact that it's not done when I want it to be done. There have been times we have walked out that door at 6:15, 6:20. We thankfully have not walked out that door later than 6:20 since we've moved. But she's got to be to daycare by 6:30 so I can be to my office by 8. Hopefully. Depends on traffic. To get through that, though, I am having to teach myself emotional regulation, and I'm also having to parent her at the same time. So with all of this comes that need to parent myself along with figuring this out and being in learning mode the entire time of being a parent, because I don't know how to parent. I can tell you that I may or may not have gotten the best examples growing up as a kid. I can tell you that I have internally explained to myself that my parents did the best they could with the tools that they had in their own toolboxes, which were not the best themselves. I can explain that I don't think my parents were wanting to have children, and that is a sad state of affairs. I'm sure my biological mom did want to have kids, and I know that my stepmother wanted to have kids. However, do I think people that were the same age that I currently am or younger than I am now had the capability then to have children and raise children to be the adults that we have turned out to be today? Yes, and I still think they did it to the best of their abilities. That does not mean that I do not have expectations for my child based off my own childhood. That doesn't mean that I don't do things for my child that I wish my parents would have done for me as a kid. So that is conversations that I've had to have with a 4-year-old and a 36-year-old me, because I want the 4-year-old to grow up and be a better version of an adult that I did not have the opportunity, that I don't feel I had the opportunity to have. And I have to reparent myself through all of this. So there's expectations there that are unrealistic and obviously unspoken, because you shouldn't be explaining adult scenarios to a 4-year-old. Shouldn't. I know some people who do, because they're 4 and the kids have every right to know what's going on in their lives. However, they should also be able to be children, and that is where I'm at with my 4-year-old. I want her to be able to be a child and not have to be parentified in any way, shape, or form, even though she is coming out of a single parent household with a co-parent. And by co-parent, I mean somebody that's there like 2 days a week. So, on that note, sorry for the rambling. Please enjoy the rest of the video. There's maybe about 15 seconds left of me crafting, and then I will get the video for the rest of this posted soon. Thanks.